Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I am continuing to work on my homemade planner for 2025. Now, one of the most important features that I must have in my planner is a full calendar spread. This is the B6 Midori, this is the Hobonichi Weeks, and both of them have monthly spread calendars, and they have it designed so the line that separates the days is across the seam on both of these. Hobonichi gives a little bit of grace space for stitching and other things, but it's across the seam and it goes across 2 pages, and I like the size. Where I'm having trouble is I've tried printing my own, and the numbers here are just huge. Now, I have design programs. I have really old Adobe programs. I have Adobe Creative Suite. I know they're on the cloud, but I have the suite because I have a really old computer. So I can design my own and create a template for the exact size I want and the colors I want. But I don't know that I want it to look this uniform and even. Like these are fine designs for these companies, but I think if I'm doing it myself, let me show you. Let me show you what I've done. So I found this one. I like this one a lot. This is from freeorganizingprintables.com. I will link their webpage. I cut it. I wanted to see if I was doing it on the seam, and here's my B6 planner, it wouldn't be uniform. There'd be like 4 over here and 3 over here, and then maybe, you know, I could draw again or have a mini notes section or something. I'm not sure. I tried. This is a trial and error process, and it's not going well. So, okay. I took my Strathmore, my mixed media roll paper, and I cut a standard size piece of paper and I stuck it in my printer. Because the paper I currently have in my printer is this stuff, which is fine. It's 75 GSM. And you want to use metric system for paper. I will link the video I have on paper sizing and why you want to use metric system over pound. Pound is not accurate. Yeah, you want to use grams. So this is 90 GSM, and I thought it'd be fine. It was not fine. It got stuck. I have an Epson 4-in-1 printer. It's older, but it did not work. So this paper is too thick. So that won't work. I will use this for scrap and test things and bookmarks or whatever. And then I tried, we have some really old lunch bags. These are so old. And I cut one up. I cut the bottom out and I cut the seam out so it wasn't double ply. And I tried to feed it through my printer carefully. It didn't work. I may still tape this in because it looks cool. It looks really neat, but it's really wet and sticky, so I need it to dry first. Again, we have a ton of humidity where I live, so drying times vary. But this didn't work as well. So it really is a persnickety printer that I have that just can't handle unique weird things. I don't know that I'm going to try and shove anything else in there. I've made it really grumpy. And I kind of, you know, want to leave well enough alone a little bit. So, where am I at? I've been saving like junk mail and things like that. Things I'm not using. But it would be really fun to have a calendar go across different elements. I don't know why that would be so fun. You know the envelopes that have, ignore the address, you know the envelopes that have like vellum cut windows and stuff? That would be really cool. Yes, that That would be cool. But to have something go across an envelope, I think I'm gonna hand draw. What this video is a long roundabout way of me saying that I don't really care for how these are looking. None of these are quite right, even though I like this one the most. And again, I'll link it in the description box below. And it has two different color themes. So one is this color where it's sort of pinks, teals, and purples. And then there's another one that's like blues and greens. I don't care for it. I don't care for it. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go in Illustrator probably. How am I going to do this? I'm going to have to hand draw this somehow. And I want it to look, I want to have plenty of space to be able to write multiple things. Like some months are crazier than others. Like here's October. And I did a video a day and a drawing every single day for the month of October. Now, I was able to have two things written in here, and it was hard one to put in a third item to make notes of. So I'm going to have to figure out the best way to have a calendar spread. I don't like it when certain months, I will throw up what March looks like, and they've sort of cut the day in half and added 30-31. I don't like that. That's not enough space for every day, especially for the Mondays. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this in a thoughtful way that fits. Now I can try and figure out how to lightly trace over a template. And figure out how to add that element. It'd be really beautiful to have my calendar spread on a colored substrate, on a beautiful colored paper. I really like brown. I think brown is such an elegant, gorgeous color that looks great with everything. It looks great with jewel tones, it looks great with pastels. I love it with metallics. So if I'm going to draw, this is my Rote Ring Isograph. This is a waterproof ink. It's a little bit raised. This is the 0.3. I will link things I'm using in the description box below. If I'm roughly gonna try and make sure that I'm doing this correctly, a little bit, with cheats. I don't know if I'm doing this right, you know? I've never hand-drawn a calendar spread, and it shouldn't be a big deal. But here's the thing with my planners. My planners I keep forever because I have such notes in them, and I could remove the notes and create one universal, I don't know, binder or notepad that has all the notes from every planner, but it's kind of I have art in them. It's a very personal screenshot of that year that's, I don't know, it's kind of personal to me. So I keep them. And at some point I may not want to, but okay, if I want this to look hand-drawn and have that kind of squiggly charm without using a ruler and having it be so specific. If you are a precise person, I apologize if this is driving you crazy. And I love you precise people. I'm not precise. I don't want it to look so formal because it's mine. I'm making it. So it's okay if it looks a little wonky. I just have to make sure that everything's durable. That I don't remove my planners from my office. That's not a thing that happens. But I do throw them about in my office, and they do sit around on my desk, and my desk gets dirty with dry media, with wet media, with all the things I'm creating and doing. So it has to withstand the pressure. It has to put up with me. Then it has to last year after year. So I need to ensure that everything doesn't fall apart, and I'm gonna have to figure out attachment methods. whether I try sewing paper, which I've never done before, so I have no idea about the foot and the needle that would be best for paper. I did not mark these lines on the side, did I? Or I do glues, or I do standard sort of binding with stitches with like embroidery floss or some waxed thread. Or I do sort of packets maybe that are stapled, and then I use the traveler's style with the elastics, or I use a combination of them. Like, I just need it to last. So because this is going to be the first one I ever do, first planner I ever put together, I will have videos later talking about like successes and failures. Now, I'm going to copy this one specifically, but typically I like Monday starts. Okay. And I can make it smaller. Like, I need the day on there, but it doesn't have to be the biggest element in the world. What? Did I already screw this up? I already screwed this up. This is 1, 2, 3. This is why I need practice. Practice, people. And then this is something I would glue in. Well, I'm not in love with it. 1, because the numbers are off. And 2, I think I need to have the Monday start. But I could glue this into a stronger backed piece of paper, because this is really thin. This is thinner than the standard printer paper, the 75. Yeah. So I've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out the most important element. The rest is just going to be sort of notes pages, and that can be glued in, taped in things that don't really, it can be reused, recycled pieces of paper, or specific sections that say notes. I do make a lot of notes throughout the year, especially when I do drawing challenges for ideas. I need some blank pages. So with the photographs and the images from those garden seed catalogs, I can just tape in other elements on top of that and keep using that, and maybe even have some interesting sort of visual sections that are trial and errors that are a nod to things that I've done that didn't work. For everything that doesn't work, I learn a ton. So I probably will have a little bit of this paper in here. I need to figure out a cover too. I need something super durable for the cover, because the cover is where it sits. It sits on all different elements of my desk when I am creating. And if you'll notice, a common theme is a plastic cover. Now, I'm not a big fan of the plastic aesthetic, but what I am a fan of is everything being protected. This is just a thin sort of poster board type cover. And this one is literally like a tie material, like a business suit tie. And yeah, even though I cleaned my desk, you can still see stuff that these have picked up. So it has to be protected somehow. So I need a thick cover, and I might borrow this plastic and reuse it for the one I'm making. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But I need to really figure out the most important element of this planner, and that is a full month spread. I have to be able to see and attack the whole month at once. I know what's best is what's preference, and maybe you're sort of a weekly person or a bi-monthly person, or maybe you like the vertical and you like lines instead of the grid squares. But I'm just super traditional in it, and this is my absolute preference For some reason, I'm less overwhelmed when I can see everything at once. So I have to have that. And I have to figure out where to put it. It would be fun to draw across an envelope and then I can stick things in it. It would be kind of an interesting... If my only limitation is that it has to be paper, it could be any paper. Ooh, boy, is that dangerous. That's so dangerous. I can't even tell you. Oh gosh. So I'm gonna have to go through and keep collecting paper over the months, over the days, to figure out how I'm going to, because it doesn't even have to be the same color across the whole spread. It could be multi-colors. I don't know if that would be too distracting or not. Because what I write down is the most important piece of information for this. I still want it to look cool. I want it to have sort of an arty design aesthetic, you know, some sort of style to it. But I need to make sure, oh gosh, you know what I could totally do? Oh, I could be here for a year and a half. I could cut out the individual squares. Oh no. I could make it look totally crazy and cut out all the little squares and have 31 squares and they could just be numbered. Oh, I don't know if I like that idea. That would be totally weird, wouldn't it? Like if I cut... Okay, bear with me. Okay. Again, this is just a sample example piece. And yeah, this will make it more time consuming, but it could make it really fun. So I could have say 1 like Monday, 2 Tuesday, 3 Wednesday, 4 Thursday. Boy, that's really tiny, isn't it? And then have them actually one falls on a Wednesday, so this wouldn't be accurate either, but for a sample example, and then have it go all the way across, and then I write on the squares. That's an idea too. Don't know how much extra work that would be. Or I have strips. Again, this is where I'm at. This is why everything's taking so long. Is I can't even get to the building portion because I have to figure out the most important element. I have to figure out this calendar. And I could totally cut this to match and draw across the envelope and then glue in the envelope. And then if I have other little ephemera from the month, I could stick it in the envelope. Now both sides are open. I'd have to tape these. But I could totally draw the calendar across it and have a calendar with an envelope. That's an idea too. It's all an idea. I just need to make sure that everything fits, that there's room to write everything, that I can see it across a spread, that I'm not really, I don't want to divide. What I don't want to do is this. Divide it perfectly in half and then have the seam go across a whole series of days. I don't want to do that. I don't really like that it's so completely asymmetrical, but I may not have a choice. you know, if I need it to go across the dividing line of the months. I know. Who would have thought this would have been so convoluted? You probably knew, huh? I didn't know. Okay. But I'm not cutting a day. I still have the space to write the things I need to write. I need to write everything down. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to keep drawing. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep looking for different ways to make this work for the calendar portion. And then once I have the calendar all set, next month in September, because I don't want to buy stickers. I could totally buy those Stology calendar stickers, but I don't want to. I want to make every element for this whole thing. I have enough supplies in my office to be able to do this. I just need to figure out how to do it. So in September, I will have the calendar portion done, decided, drawn out. I will show you how I did that and what supplies I used. And maybe I'll clip in a couple little videos. And then we can move toward building the actual planner with the elements I need in all those different pages and garden seed catalogs that I have. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you saw a little bit of the inner working process. My lovely trial and error, but I'm learning. I'm learning what I can't do, and that'll narrow down what I can. So I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.